Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV. It is starting 11 prediction time. It's Liverpool, it's Fulham, it's Anfield, it's Sunday, and it's a chance to put the midweek game with Red Star Belgrade behind us. So to do that, in goal for Liverpool, I believe Jurgen Klopp will pick this man here, Alisson Becker. I think it's pretty obvious by now. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but as usual, we'll look at it and we'll talk about it at the end and why I've picked the players, where I've picked them. But for now, we'll just go through the players first and foremost. Again, 5 goals conceded, 11 appearances. At right back, I think that actually it's going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold keeping his place at right back. Some might disagree with me, but I will talk to you about that a little bit later. He's still got that 1 assist. He's still contesting 6 defensive duels per 90, but only winning 19.3%, although he is making over 5 interceptions per 90. Centre-back pairing, I think the first centre-back that he'll choose is actually going to be Dejan Lovren. I think, he's been ill this week. I think he had a temperature, according to Jurgen Klopp. He's thrown Dejan under the bus a little bit there, hasn't he? But he's completing 92.5% of his passes. Yes, he's only winning 34.8% of his defensive duels, but that is 7.24. Nearly 50% of his aerial duels he's winning, 4 interceptions per 90. Alongside him, it's the Imperious, it's the Dutchman, it's the great pass master. It is Virgil van Dijk, 11 appearances, 92.3% passing accuracy, 3 defensive duels, 6.49 aerial duels per 90, winning 57.5% of them. And actually, when you go the game, it feels like he wins all of them, doesn't it? Alongside them, I think it's just going to be our normal left back, to be honest with you. Our normal left back is this man. It's Andrew Robertson, who's made 10 appearances, 1 assist, 60 passes per 90, nearly 8 defensive duels per 90, and over 4 interceptions per 90 as well. In midfield, I'm actually going for the double pivot, and the first man that I'm picking in that is Fabinho. So, shock horror, Chris goes for 4-2-3-1. He's only made 2 starts so far, 91.9% passing accuracy, 50 passes per 90, or 51 passes per 90, averaging 7.5 defensive duels per 90, over 4 interceptions per 90 as well. Alongside him, and if I'm going to be wrong, this is probably going to be it, it's going to be Naby Keita. I think, you know what, he was there, he was taken to Belgrade, he warmed up at half-time, he was an unused substitute. And that midfield looked a little bit tired for me. So I'm going to the 4-2-3-1. I wanted Fabinho in there. Ordinarily, I'd say Wijnaldum alongside him. But I want to take a look at Keita with Fabinho in this 4-2-3-1. Will he do it? Listen, the likelihood, probably not. But you know what? That's what I'd like to see him do. Offensive duels per 90, 7.19 from Naby, winning 48.7%, and that is very, very high. Again, over 4 interceptions, 3.89 dribbles per 90. And I like the idea of that Keita Fabinho midfield, but we'll move on. We'll go to the number 10 position, and I've actually picked Bobby Firmino for the number 10 position, who's got 2 goals, 2 assists, 20.5 offensive duels per 90. He's averaging at the moment, which is just absolutely crack-a-lacka, isn't it? And then on the right-hand side, I think it's going to be the man that wasn't taken to Belgrade. It will actually be Xherdan Shaqiri. He's had 2 appearances, 5 from the subs bench as well. 1 goal, 1 assist. I think he deserves a start. I think he was rested, obviously, midweek. Didn't want to flare up anything with the Serbian fans. Totally fair. And on the other side, I think it's going to be Sadio Mane over on that left-hand side. 6 goals in 10 appearances from Sadio. It's really all that matters, isn't it? Over 10 offensive duels per 90, 4.85 dribbles per 90 as well. And then up top, that only leaves 1 player that normally starts, and that man is Mo Salah. It's not a statue, it's an actual photo of Mo Salah we've got there. He's got 5 goals in his 11 appearances, 2 assists on top. So let's have a little look at the team then. Si, can you bring that one in for me, mate? And we'll have a look now. You can see I've set it up in the 4-2-3-1. Let's start talking about Trent Alexander-Arnold before I get into the comments, first and foremost. I think he'll pick Trent Alexander-Arnold because he's not played particularly well this season. But getting hooked at half-time can do something mentally to you. So I think with this type of game against a poor Fulham side, but one that obviously can't be overlooked, it might be a little bit of a confidence boost to say, listen, I'll trust you. Go out there, perform for me. Lovren and Van Dijk in the centre, sound. Joe Gomez had a little bit of an ankle issue, I think. That's why I've probably left him out more than any other reason. And Keita, Fabinho. Again, these 2 lads both like to bomb forwards. Keita probably more than Fabinho, but both can be a defensive midfielder as well. Feels like a great sort of double pivot there for me. And then drop Firmino back into that number 10 position where we know he can play well. And then you've got the explosiveness, the rest of Xherdan Shaqiri, Mo Salah causing them issues at the top end, the business end. And let's hope Mane's got his studs on and isn't falling all over the place like midweek against Belgrade. So that is my starting 11. That's the one I think that Jurgen Klopp is going to pick. although it's pretty unlikely. I was probably clouded a little bit this time by the fact that I wasn't on the build-up show, so I didn't get to do a preferred 11. So I've probably shifted. This is my probably preferred bit here. I'd probably personally play Gomez, Love and Van Dijk there. That's the side that I'd like to see anyway. But it's not about that. It's about what Jurgen Klopp is and what I think. I miss the old school board, said Copite legend. Have you got something for me before while I reload the comments because they've stopped working, Si?
So James Doherty says Klopp needs to go back to attacking. We have been poor in most matches. Only our defence is better. Midfield and attack poor.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a lot. I've had some planes to catch this week. And I was thinking about it. I was talking to Neil Jones, formerly of The Echo and now of Goal, this afternoon on the Newsroom podcast. And what I was thinking was, before Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain came into this side, we weren't that free-scoring team where everyone always says, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain came in and we were playing really well. Yes, I agree with that 100%. But we were just a little bit, we weren't very good. The front three weren't scoring goals in quite the same way. So I actually think Ox is a bigger miss than even people think, and we talk about it a lot, is that since he's gone down, have we really attacked in the same way? Have we really seen that interaction between the front three and that fourth man joining? No, probably not, which is why I think he's probably looking at this formation and going, we need the four of them. It could be Coutinho there last season as well, actually, in part. Coutinho with the front three, something like that. So I like the idea of having this front four, but it's difficult. And, still, I'll ask you a question. Do you remember any of the title-winning sides from Liverpool? I know it was a long time ago. I still remember a few of them. I think there was 5 or something in my lifetime. I remember the last 2. Did Liverpool go unbeaten in any of those seasons? No, it doesn't happen very often. Arsenal are the only team. Setbacks happen in football, and it's how we react to setbacks. Setbacks happen in life. It's how we react to these setbacks. Liverpool have got a chance on Sunday to put the midweek game behind us. Hopefully they will do. This is going to be a tough season, and if you can only take enjoyment out of winning the Premier League or winning the Champions League this season or winning as a player or in anything you do when there's only one up for grabs, then more often than not you're going to be set up to be a miserable old bastard, quite frankly. And I think you sometimes need to find enjoyment in other ways. Enjoy the football, enjoy watching the team develop. It's a difficult one. And I'm not talking directly to you, the commenter, of course, but it's just so hard to win the Premier League. Take your enjoyment where you can get it, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I started talking about that, to be honest with you. Joshua White said, big game on the weekend in terms of getting back on form and getting more confidence. Also, to maybe score 3 or 4 goals. That would be lovely. Listen, I prefer seeing Liverpool score 3 or 4 goals. I do. But defensively, we're better than last season. We're in a better position than we have been at this stage of the Premier League for years and years and years and years and years. And yet, the fans still seem to be moaning, and it really is. It really does baffle me. Why don't we trust 43-1 look best with it? We didn't play it against Arsenal Red Star and got shite results. Should play it every single game, says Freddie Thompson. At the moment, I think it's very much horses for courses. I think it's a formation everybody who watches this will know that I prefer. But I think Klopp thinks in big games, when they're going to have the ball, 4-3-3 is a better counter-attacking one for us now. I know I said big games in Red Star, but Red Star were playing at home, and we know about their unbeaten run at home was like 28 games or something like that. So they were always going to have a little bit of possession and the crowd behind them. So I felt like he thought, you know what, we'll counter. And maybe it was the wrong decision, but you live and die by your mistakes. Arsenal exactly the same. You're playing at the Emirates, big pitch. Maybe go to your counter-attacking side. Fulham, home, Anfield. Get the 43-1, dominate possession. Let's try and play a little bit more centrally. We don't want to be forced out to the wings like we were against Red Star and humping 30 crosses in the first hour or whatever it was. It's not for us. Let's work our way through them. Let's be patient. Let's get behind the team. If it's half-time and it's 0-0, still be patient because we can still break these down. That's what it's about, isn't it? Have you got another comment for us?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of interesting shouts for players to start. I'll start with this one. So a couple of people have said Klein. So Meme Lord says, Chris Mate, I'd add Klein and Gomez instead of Trent and Lovren, but it won't happen. And O-Dog says, any shout for Klein to play it right back and keep Joe Gomez and VVD at the back?
Again, the reason I've not put Gomez in is because, he's had that little ankle issue. And I know that he was out with the ankle problem last season as well. So that's why I've erred on the side of caution there. The Klein at right back thing, I've not picked him because Klopp hasn't picked him, quite frankly. Do I? Personally, would I? Probably not. But that's more for, he's not played football in such a long time. It's a game where we will probably dominate possession again. We know, or even in poor form, Trent Crossing's still probably better than Kleini's. It's not something that comes naturally to him, Kleiny. Defensively, he's very, very good. He always has been very, very good. It's a difficult one. It more comes down what I probably wouldn't pick Klein just because it's been so long. I just don't know what Nathaniel Klein's there anymore, quite frankly.
We've got what I'll come back to the one I was going to say before, but Sidney Fisher's just on that kind of stuff says this is defo the game for Trent at home. We'll dominate possession and we can play him into form and he can get some confidence.
I think that's it, isn't it? I think that's what you want to see, isn't it? You know, and young players, this is a crucial time in their development. He's going through a sticky patch. He's not been at the top of his form. We've heard rumours of crap in the news and all that type of stuff. So he'll be going through a difficult period. I think what he needs now is Klopp to put his arm around him and show him that trust and that belief. And you might just see a better Trent Alexander-Arnold. And again, as you say, playing Fulham at home where you dominate possession might be a game where he could be played into form. Cracking comment, mate.
So the Black Phoenix said before we actually started the stream, says, I say start Origi. Guy needs to prove himself. He looked quite pacey in the last match he had.
He always, yeah, he is pacey, isn't he? He looked rusty to me. And obviously I've not, you know, I was in the ground. They were attacking us that half and see him up close. And it was, what's the word? It was a little bit disparate, maybe. Something like that, where when he was making a run, someone would run into the same space as him. And, you know, it's more orchestrated and fluid, that sort of one goes forward, one goes back, one goes left, one goes right normally. And I think Origi probably needs time and a lot of time to be able to get into that rhythm with the rest of these lads. So personally, probably not. But if he's there and Klopp trusts him, then maybe you could see a few minutes later on. One more, mate.
So we've had quite a lot of people, it's a bit of a big topic to be honest, I'm not sure if you want to go in depth on it. We've had a few people saying it, but the last one I've got is Guinness Gamer saying, do you think the problem attacking wise is Buvac being away?
No, quite honestly. I don't know what the problem is, but even if it is, what the fuck does it matter for? What are we going to do? He's not coming back. Why we keep whinging about it? What, do you want to bring Buvac back? Well, he doesn't want to fucking be here. He's on gardening leave or fucking whatever it is, do you know what I mean? It's like Torres going and then going, do you think we're shit because Torres is gone? It doesn't fucking matter, we've sold him. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can fucking do about it. Why pull your hair out wondering whether Buvac is the reason or not? If he is, what the fuck's the matter? What are we going to do? He's not coming back. He's not left, but he's not coming back, clearly. And if he isn't, it doesn't fucking matter anyway. It baffles me. Why the fuck does it matter? Si, question?
Yeah.
It doesn't, does it? It just makes no odds. There's no other Buvac. There is one Buvac and he's not here. I'm sorry, it just doesn't compute. Don't like that? Sorry. Like that? Like the video. There you go. Honestly, it really does baffle me. I don't know whether Buvac is the answer. I was told that Buvac was the pressing master, you know what I mean? And Liverpool aren't scoring as many goals from pressing this season and in the gegenpress and stuff like that. But if Jurgen Klopp, after working with him for 17 years or so, doesn't know everything Buvac knows, then poor form. And listen, that interaction with the new coach and stuff, that takes time. And we are playing in a slightly different manner. But that doesn't just mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater within 2 months of the season when we're 2 points off top of the league. Because with Buvac here last season, we were much further back than 2 points. Just saying. If you've enjoyed the video, like the video. Sorry for losing me shit a bit at the end there. Thank you very much for watching, as always. Have you got any comments from that, actually? If someone's got an argument with me and someone wants to have a little pop, then that's fine. Let's read your comments. Platform for you as well as me.
So Sidney Fisher says we lose a game and everyone's calling. I think Sidney Fisher's just echoed what you said. O-Dog says even if Buvac is the reason the players can still attack well, they're not suddenly going to become brain dead and lose the ability to play footy.
I'm sure they would have been taking notes anyway. They've been coached by Buvac for a couple of years. He's not gone and they've just gone, what's that lad's name? What did he tell us to do? Press. They probably know what he was coaching them, you know what I mean? So there you go. Like the video. Subscribe to Redmen TV on YouTube. Let's put all this Buvac stuff behind us. Remember, Saka was the answer. Happens. It happens. You win games of football, you forget them. That's it. All what matters is that red shirt, the liver bird on it. The names on the back don't really matter too much. In the end of the day, we are the club, the fans, and stuff. So there we go. We'll always be here regardless, won't we? Don't get hurt by them. Don't get hurt by Buvac going. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.